One of the most important strategies you need to figure out for your business, if you're looking to attract and close the kind of clients that you want, is lead generation. But how do we generate leads? There are many strategies. Today, I want to talk to you about just one powerful concept that generate leads for any business, even if you're just starting out. So let's jump right in. Okay, so first, let's understand what lead generation is. What is a lead? A lead is a signal of interest. So think about it. You're offering a product or a service, and whenever someone puts up their hand that they are interested in whatever you're offering, that person is considered a lead. So lead generation is simply having more signals for your business, more signals of interest for your business or for your offer or for your service. So you need to have more leads in order to be able to convert some of them to become clients and others to become even repeat customers. So for any business at all, the more signals of interest you can generate, the more your chances of converting them to become clients. So lead generation for business is so powerful. If you have low leads, then definitely you'll be able to close few of them. And the bloodline of every business is having this signal of interest always coming through. So that is why we need to generate leads or signals of interest for our business. And we want to talk about one powerful way to do that. Now, this concept is called selling the problem or sell the problem. And it's a bit counterintuitive because you think, well, I have a solution to offer for a problem. So why am I not selling the solution rather than selling the problem? Now, let's think about it. At the base of things, business is all about solving problems. So if there are no problems at all in the world, then business itself will not exist. And when you think about it, the companies that are solving big problems are the companies that have big clients and have big pockets. In the same way, the businesses that are solving smaller problems for a few number of people then would have limited resources in that line. So problems are good then in this context. Not good to keep them, but good so that business can keep running. So you need to think about what problem your offer is solving. Zone in a bit more into that, then you start to familiarize yourself really well with the pain that your target customer feels. Go even deeper to the effects those problems bring about and keep selling that. Now, what it means to sell that is instead of talk about how the solution can help the person, you keep talking about how this problem is the worst thing to have. You keep describing the problem, paint it in a very vivid way, and keep talking about the problem. The reason is that human psychology tells us that all of us move away faster from pain than towards pleasure. What do I mean? So let's think about it. If, let's say, I came to you just by the roadside, you don't know me, I'm a stranger to you, and I said, well, give me one city and I'll be able to triple it, or I'll make you millions by just giving me one city. What would you think? You'd first start to ask questions like, who are you? Well, where do I know you from? Right? Because I'm offering to lead you into pleasure, or else you don't know me at all. Whereas if I met you just by the roadside and I just pointed to the fact that you're about to hit your leg against a stone, right? Just by pointing that fact to you without knowing me at all, you will not ask any questions. You will just move away from pain, right? So it's in that same concept. When you're starting out, not many people know you. So the strategy you want to use is to help people move away from pain rather than trying to move them towards pleasure. Now, what does it look like, this idea of selling a problem? Well, first is sell the symptoms rather than the solution. So, talk about the consequences that you're already facing, describe it very vividly. What that does is, once you're describing my problem in a very vivid way, the exact same way I experience it, all of a sudden I start to believe that you are the best person to solve that problem. So, symptoms over solution. Then use the client's language. So, use exact words that these clients use to describe their pain points or their frustration, right? So, you need to dig very deep and don't call it what you want to call it. Call it by the name that the potential clients refer to it by. And then the third one is use a concept of before and after. So show what life looks like with the problem versus without the problem. Now, using these 3 steps, you are able to sell the problem very vividly. And by doing that, you are getting the signals of people who have the same problem to put up their hand and say, hey, I have that same problem. I want to discuss how to solve it. Now, even though this concept of selling the problem looks like a very simple one, it's so powerful as far as lead generation is concerned. So how can we implement something like this then in our business? Well, the first thing is we need to change our mindset from always trying to sell solution upfront to figuring out what the problem is and trying to sell the problem. For example, say you are a fitness coach or a trainer. Instead of always leading with your 8-week program that helps people get in shape and to feel stronger and all of that, rather you figure out what the problem you're solving is. So something like talk about the health risks of inactivity or a sedentary lifestyle and keep hammering on that. When people can realize that there's a problem with their current situation, then very easily they'll give their signal of interest. So a simple formula that we can use is always putting out content that has this particular structure. For example, 7 crucial mistakes people make with X that keeps them from getting Y. So that's a bit more negative framing, but then very easily everyone will want to find out what those mistakes are. And by reading that content piece, they'll be finding themselves in it and wondering, am I making such mistakes? And everybody wants to avoid mistakes. Something like 4 reasons why you feel super tired throughout the day. So for that example of the fitness coach, right? Everybody want to find out, why do I feel super tired throughout the day? Something like 5 detrimental effects of inactivity or a sedentary lifestyle. Again, everybody will want to find out what those effects are. Everybody wants to move away from pain. Something like 3 critical behaviors to avoid if you really want why, right? And why can be anything at all. So think about your context, right? And using this formula, you can start to fish out what the problem that you're solving is and start to create content around selling the problem so that you can have people who have the same problem start signaling their interest to you or to your business. Now, to wrap up, remember we said business at its core is about solving problems. So the more problems that you can solve and the bigger the problems that you can solve, then the bigger your business also becomes. So in generating leads, this is the first concept you need to really embrace. Sell the problem always. If you can uncover the pain that someone is feeling, very easily they want to now talk about how to resolve that pain. So you need to become very good at selling the problem and not the solution first of all. Once you can do this, you'd see your leads really increase, and thereby you can convert many of them to become your clients. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.